Okay. Constantly says I'm unstable and I don't know why. Let's see, is Stream Elements going to join us today? We will find out. It hasn't joined us yet. There it is. And Kofi bot. Everybody's going off. Bitrate is now excellent after I refreshed my dashboard. Okay, maybe it's an issue with my dashboard not updating then. Okay. We're back. We're going to try to finish this guy up today, and then we might do some other doodles. We'll see how far we get. We'll figure it out. So we are working on our Spirograph flower sketchbook thing. We should be finishing it up today. There's going to be a loud noise, I think. Oh no, I turned the battery off. Never mind. I forgot to turn the battery off on that. It has a battery and manual mode, so that way, if the batteries go out on you, no worries, friends, no worries. Alright, I'm just gonna darken up around our flowers here on top of our gouache, just to try to smooth it out a little bit. I mean, this doesn't have to be super perfect here. Just basically getting some color down on top of our gouache, just to kind of darken it up a little bit. I got a tiny amount of editing done last night. Nowhere near the amount that I needed to get done. Because life and distractions and all of that. Alrighty. So we're just gonna color in with some black colored pencil on top of our black gouache. I know it's not gonna look like we're doing a whole lot of anything here. I'm just trying to even out some of the splotchy from the gouache. I almost picked up another box of colored pencils, but then I was like, no, I'm being silly. They're not on sale. These ones are still working for us for now. we will get all of this colored in. And you really can't see it going down because it is black on black. But you can see it in person, and it's actually kind of picking up the texture from my glass board, so that's kind of weird. Actually, you might be picking up a little bit of the glare. From the, you can kind of see where it's a little bit shinier. Alright, now, let's see, this is similar to our middle color here. Now we do have the black down, so I don't know how much of this is going to pick up. Doesn't look like very much. Might be like a slight, very super slight halo around it. I think it's just because of the black going down. Yeah, that's not really. It's just laying down wax. We're not really seeing much color there, and that's okay. Ow. I banged my knee on my fucking tower again. Oh wait, yeah, I did that wrong. Shit. Shit. I did that wrong. Okay. So now I'm gonna get us some light paint here. Hopefully the white paint will go down. I did order a white gel pen. However, it isn't gonna be here. It's not here. So I've got some white acrylic paint. And sorry. I've got a couple of drops of water mixed into that. Just want like a super fine point. We'll try this guy. I don't know if he's gonna work, but we'll try him. I need a mixie brush. I don't want to mess up my points. So I just did like a couple of drops just to get it a little bit thinned. Like, I don't want it super. This might actually be a little too thin. We'll see though. You know what? I'll put you back up there. let me rinse this guy out. And we'll see how we go. That back up there. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So we're gonna try to see if I can get this to work. This point might not be fine enough, actually, now that I'm looking at it. This might be too thick. Let's see, why is the tip of that one all binty-booed? Yeah. Okay, actually, I know the point I want. Question is that brush in here? That one's a little frayed. I should have. Ooh, why are you point down? No. That happened in my haste to grab everything the other night. I mean, this guy's usually my go-to. But you're kind of beat up. Let's see if I can do some brush surgery here. Alright, we will see how this goes. With my unsteady hands. So I'm not sure if I'm just gonna do the outside or if I want to do all of the petals. Like, do I just want to do just a little bit of outlining here? That is the question. So this might be a little bit thin. Like I might have gotten it a little too thin. Or it could be this brush. Don't know yet. If you hear thundering feet running through our room, I do apologize. Apparently it's cat o'clock, it would seem. Kind of sad, this used to be like my favorite go-to brush, but it's being weird now. And I'm not quite sure why. This is very strange. I might go back to the other one that I was originally going to use. My brain has been obsessing over multiple different ways I could attempt to do a particular reference photo. So we might have to take a look at that at some point. There will be some loud, not super loud, but there might be some crashing noises in the background in a few minutes. Like distant crashing noises. The husband's got to get all of the wind chimes back outside. I'm still a little undecided if I want to do all of the petals or not. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do it on this one. And then we can say to our brain, see, we tried it. The question is, do we like it? So we will see. I think I like it. I think. I also didn't want to put too much water in here. A, it would thin it down too much, and B, I didn't want to reactivate our gouache underneath. It shouldn't really with the acrylic paint, but I wasn't quite sure because I've not tried to do gouache on top of, or acrylic on top of gouache before, excuse me. So we'll see. I kind of like it. Has a slight messy feel to it. I kind of like it. I think that other side needs a little bit more though. Alright, so when I work with the little brushes, I do try to clean them up a bit more often. Gonna have to see if I can hot water this guy. Back into working order. Alright, let's see. Hardly see that, number one. Okay, so that is from there. Let's see. What about what we have? It says I've got some liners in here. Wonder. That feels kind of thick though. To be perfectly honest, I got round. Oh, okay. We say what we are on here. Okay. That's a liner. That's a flat. Okay. Flat. Round. Spot. That's apparently a liner. That one's a liner, but the tip's all weird. Round. That's a big liner. Round. Liner. Okay. So let's see. Who do we'll try this guy. He might work. Maybe. it might work. Kind of. The only thing is, with this particular paint that I'm using at the moment, since I added a drop of water to make it flow a little bit better, it's not as solid as I would prefer, like solid white. Not as opaque as I would like it to be. We could try to use the gouache, but then that's going to reactivate. And I don't want that. Oh, so can't really see the name being outlined all that much. We are trying to. I mean, you can see it a little bit better in person, for sure. And I might come back in and outline that with my black Sharpie, just to kind of give it another little punch there. But we'll see. We'll see. Alright, so I mean, you can kind of see it when it's wet, but as it's drying, it's getting a bit lighter here. But we'll see. I did try to start earlier. I promise, I did try, but stuff kept happening. As it was, I slept later than I wanted to. Like yesterday was good because I was up early enough to do treadmill and eat. Before stream, and then I was still kind of just sitting around waiting, which is why we just went so early. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna have to hit that up with the black Sharpie. I hope everybody's doing okay today. Hey, boss. How goes it? Oh, and I do want to apologize to you. I sent you a wall of text because I was pissed off at something else and I needed to be pissed off. So I kind of like ranted at you, and I'm sorry. But I didn't have a chance to tell anybody else what had just happened, and I do apologize. You are free to rant back at me whenever. You are more than welcome to. Just this week has just been so much of a mess. It's crazy. Oh, there's where the wet paint was. I'm like, where did my hand just touch wet paint? It's just... So we're gonna try to get the mother-in-law's room in a state so that we can try to put the dog in there. Because we have no idea how much propane they still have. I don't know if we even have the keys to it. And we don't really have the money to get more propane in it to begin with. We will see what happens. I don't know how I am, honestly. I don't know how I am. Like, this is effing ridiculous. And for someone that needs, you know, I'm not quite such a strict, oh, damn it. I fucked that up. I'm like, not that, like, much of a stickler that I need constant, structure. I can do some things spontaneously on a whim, but I also don't change plans on the fly if I can help it. There has to be a reason that outweighed the first decision, and I don't do much of anything without at least having some idea of how things are going to go. And I certainly don't do things on a whim involving the animals. you have to plan when you have the animals. It's like I'd either burn it all to the ground or be dead inside, like nothing in between. You're very much in the same sense. I think I might partially be slipping towards option 2 there. It's been a rough week, and it was a rough night. Like, I was losing sleep over the dog being out in the RV alone. I was starting to have anxiety issues over that. So that's why we are going to attempt to put her in the mother-in-law's room after we get it straightened up a bit and get all the yard stuff that we had put in there back outside. And see if we can get her to eventually lay down, because it's going to be a lot easier to check in on her if she's in the house. We've got a pet gate to put up in the hallway for when we have to transition her outside to go potty. We'll just have to put Zuzu in the dining room until we can get the pet gate up. And hopefully, with her in the bedroom and the door shut, these guys won't bark their fucking heads off at her. And hopefully she'll lay down with nobody in there with her. If we bring her bed and stuff in, hopefully. We don't know how this is gonna go. We will see. Hopefully, it'll work. But we will see.
Guess we'll find out.
Fucking hope so, because it's gonna be a long amount of time till somebody can get back down here. Sometimes you just have to numb yourself to get through it. I do feel bad for the dog, though. Yeah, like, the dog doesn't understand where its people both vanished to. You know, normal person and then person that's been around with normal person for, what, 2-3 years now, off and on? Dog's like, where's my people? She doesn't want to go potty off the leash, but we have to put her on the leash to transition her from backyard to front yard. Like, I don't fucking know what to do anymore. Damn it. Well, that just fell. Where? Hold on. I'm not facing the microphone. I can't reach what I need. Hang on. Oof. Hello? Ah, there. Ah, no! Oh, that's not what I wanted. Excuse me. There you are. Trying to grab my pens. I'm grabbing everything else but. And I was not close enough to grab them from where I was sitting. Okay. Yeah, like, it's because the dog gets breakfast and dinner. And she gets a CBD dog treat, Benadryl, eye drops, one that's medicated every other day. The opposite days is just regular eye drops. They don't even give her a correct amount of dosage on the Benadryl. They give her 1, and it says, dogs 30 pounds and over get 2, and then they're like, oh, well, we don't give her 2 because she gets drowsy. And it's like, she's over 30 pounds, 1 ain't gonna do shit. Allergies are so bad here right now. Russell and I are are just icky from them. And it's like, as soon as we get up, oh my god, it's like a whole, like this whole extra thing with the, yeah, like, it's not simple. And yeah, Momo had antibiotics while we were gone, but he got it like once a day on that particular set while we were gone, and he's pretty good about it. Just give it to him in cheese and he's cool. He's like, okay. Okay, so this is on top of the acrylic paint that is already down. You're gonna hear the wind chimes returning in the background. We're getting those back outside so we can get the dog in the mother-in-law's room. But maybe because Russell doesn't handle getting up and going very well, and I tried to set an alarm so we had a few minutes before we had to go get her, but I'm so used to Momo going out to go potty like multiple times a day, and this one, because she's a bigger dog, bigger bladder, she doesn't need to go as much, and like her last time potty is like 9:30, but we don't get up until like 9 in the morning sometimes. That's a long time. And I'm like, no, we have to get up sooner than that to get her out to potty. But no, that's not so. What the fuck is he doing now? Okay, so that's a little bit better there. But this, like, I didn't fall asleep till after 4:30 this morning. Because I was having a night of it. I was having my own anxiety issues and upset over the dog, and then I was smelling weird phantom smells that didn't make sense to my brain. I thought I was smelling burning plastic, which was weird, and then that vanished pretty quick, and then I thought I was smelling wood smoke. They've been doing controlled burns, and it got cold last night, so it could have been somebody's wood stoves or fireplaces as well, or somebody smoking meat. There's all kinds of things that could have been around here lately. And then I was sneezing all day from my allergies, and the cats were knocking shit everywhere, and I woke up briefly at like 9:30 to Cow meowing and Russell yelling at him, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then he was like snippy at me, and I'm like, what the fuck did I do? I just woke the fuck up. What is going on? He's like, it's not you. I'm having a day, having to get up and go. And I'm like, yeah, I know. They need to come back. Someone needs to come back and get this dog, because nobody took into account our own issues going on. The dude across the street burns everything, so there's always weird smells. And yeah, that, or slowly transition the dog's schedule. It's still going to mean, yeah, and like, our guys eat dinner. Like, we feed them once a day. Momo stopped eating dry dog food. We don't know what's going on. We don't know if he has a teeth issue going on, or if he was kind of weird about eating the dry dog food to begin with, and then we were kind of getting him to eat it, and then the vet gave us this urinary health dry dog food, and we tried giving him that, and he just noped the fuck out on dry dog food after that. And I'm like, really, puppy, this bag of dog food was $45. Could you, like, at least try? And he's like, nope. So that must have been some vile ass dry dog food. Like, we even tried making it a little mushy with some water and, like, juice from some chicken and stuff that I had cooked for him, and he's like, nope. We even tried putting butter on it because he loves butter. And he's like, fuckers, I told you I'm not eating it. So I'm like, oh, good. So, like, I don't even really leave dry dog food down anymore all day because he won't eat it. And then it just goes stale and funky. But Zuzu eats it, so whatever. But this one eats twice a day. And it's not that it's twice a day. She has moist dry dog food and like dry dog food that gets mixed together in the morning, and then at night she gets fresh pet and dry dog food mixed together. And I'm like, this is fucking complicated. And it's just, ugh. I'm like, I didn't sign up for all this. And I certainly didn't ask you to do all this for our guys. Like, they had a specific dinner routine, but I also pre-cooked all of their food, and we had it in little Ziploc baggies in the freezer. Just dump out the Ziploc baggie into a bowl, turn the kettle on, the electric kettle. Once that boils, put a little bit of hot water over it just to thaw it out and warm it up. Dump the water, little piece of butter in there, and mix it over their food. That was it. That's how your stepdad would do the cat's food. If I pet sat, there were directions and measurements, and it was yeah, like it wasn't too bad. Like, some nights they got rice, some nights they didn't, some night, because like they had to have what I was eating. Momo will sit here and give me shit if he doesn't get what I'm eating, to the point that I think he has to go potty. No, he wants my dinner. He was getting grumbly at me this morning because he wanted my cereal. I'm like, dude, it's Apple Jacks. You're not gonna eat it, number one. And number two, I give you enough shit. Like, if I cook beef cubes for, like, my mom can only eat certain cuts of meat because her dentures are so worn down. So, like, I have to, like, boil the hell out of whatever I'm making. So I usually get, like, beef cubes, like, a big pack of it, and then I, like, shred them down. And so if I make those, I cook them all together without seasoning it. And then right before I do all the sauces and stuff to finish it, I'll pull a few pieces out, and we'll pull those aside, and we'll run it through the food processor for the dogs. And then that makes Momo happy, and then I'll go through and sauce and season everything else. But, like, dinner's a whole thing. And then, you know, we have to feed ourselves, feed the dog, feed our guys. Then we have to go out there and feed those. It's like, we don't stop. And it was also a little bit different when we had her pet sitting the boys, because, I mean, the cats just got a scoop of food whenever the bowl got empty. But she also had her sister out there, the dog's mother, watching them. So she didn't have both sets of dogs at the same time either. But they still don't know for sure what they're doing yet. We haven't heard yet. There was a possibility that the aunt could try to come back down in a week to get the RV and the dog. There was also talk that the mother-in-law might not be able to get back until, at the earliest, the absolute earliest, April 9th or 10th. And that's not really for sure. And that was the last time either one of them really talked to us. We had to get some more dog food for that dog today, and dog mother said that she would reimburse us for it. Don't know when she's going to do that, but we'll find out. Yeah, like, it's just been nonstop. Like, every time we get a minute to breathe, it's only for a minute. Because then something else needs our attention. And like tomorrow it's supposed to be, or tomorrow night, I'm not sure. They keep, the website for our news is saying, oh, Sunday's gonna be an impactful weather day, and I'm like, wait, impactful how? What are we talking about? Snow, rain, severe thunderstorms, what's going on? And they're like showers and storms, but the entirety of Sunday is like cloudy, partly cloudy. I don't see any rain listed on the hourly until like 11 p.m. So I'm like, so it's really Sunday night into Monday, not Sunday. If they haven't changed it yet. We will see. And, you know, I don't want to be dicking around out there if it's lightning, trying to get this dog in and out. At least if she's already up here, we can try to con her going potty in the carport if it comes to it. Your weather's been terrible today. Snow, sleet, rain, garbage, driving, indoor. Ugh. Gross. Yeah, and supposedly the mother-in-law was supposed to take the Doberman to her sister, who's currently in New Hampshire, dog mother. But I don't know how she's planning on getting back if she's got the Doberman with her. Unless she's gonna leave the Doberman there. I don't fucking know. I don't know what's going on. And then I wasn't sure. I don't. There's so many things that I don't understand. And so now we have to get rid of the hay bales or do something with them. Which I knew they were going to be our problem. The second there was talk of getting the hay bales. Oh, no, so-and-so's going to take them. She said she would. Okay. A couple of weeks ago, oh, so-and-so's going to be stopping by to get the hay bales. To get them. A couple days, turned into a couple weeks, no sign of her. And then she shows up out of nowhere, unannounced. No call ahead. No text ahead to anybody. Just showed up. His mom did apologize to Russell about that, but yeah, no, they were still here. They never came and got them. And now there's like grass growing out of them, and as soon as I saw the grass growing out of them, I'm like, Russell, she's not gonna take them. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. And now this is gonna become our problem. I don't know what we're gonna do with them. I don't have a clue. Is there? Sorry, I thought there was a fuzz in the tip of my brush. And I was very confused. So it looks like they're making changes to Diablo 4 with loot and stuff. So husband and I might give it another look-see. When these changes come in. Potentially. He already re-downloaded it. I think the changes are coming in April. I was like, well, if the changes seem worth it, you tell me. And then I'll re-download it again. Because we don't really have anything to play together right now. Like, we tried playing Last Epoch. And I can play it in small doses. But the controls run a little bit counterintuitive to how I normally click. And it won't let me change. Like, the attack and the move clicks are one way, and I keep wanting to do it the other way. And it's not letting me change that particular thing. It keeps yelling at me. That, like, that's not gonna work. So I'm like, well, okay. I tried to play the Stardew Valley update. I'm still having issues with it. Like, visual issues, like me personally. Which sucks. Hey, Jess. Nothing. Well, I mean, we could. We could try. I don't know what that outcome would be, but we could certainly try. We do like potatoes. Yeah, I don't know what the hell we're gonna do with them. There was some kind of weird mushroom growing off the one. And then it looked like there was mold or spider webs on the other side of one. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do with them. We've got a little bit of like a wooded section, like maybe 3 feet wide, before there's a drainage ditch that runs behind our house. We might just like break it up and throw it in there for like the birds and stuff to play around in. Where we've been putting all of our brush and stuff. You'll probably try 4 on Xbox Game Pass. You can try without buying it. Yeah, it was a little expensive. I was kind of disappointed that the loot was the way it was and we didn't get more gameplay out of it after all the time we spent farming to get enough fucking WoW tokens to buy it. But I am glad I didn't actually shell out money for it at the time. I felt really bad having to cancel on Thursday because of the stove. But they gave our delivery window is right in the middle of stream time, and I'm like, thank you, loud truck. Beep, beep. And I can't tell if the truck is really that loud or if it's because there's a brick building across the street from us and the sound's echoing back and forth. But that was pretty loud. But, yeah, how are you, Jess? But, it's been... It seems like things just haven't stopped since we got back. Like, we had trouble getting back into our normal routine after we got back, because it seemed like ever since we got back, we felt weird because we were out of routine, because we were on the road and not home, and things were different and adventurous, but boring, so we were in the car for like 7 hours a day. But we just start to try to get back into a new routine, develop a new routine, get into some sort of pattern here, and then shit goes wrong every time. I'm like, why is shit always happening on Thursday and Friday? Why? Why can't it happen on like Tuesday and Wednesday when I don't stream? No, it's gotta happen on Wednesday and Thursday. I'm still nervous with this stove, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm trying to get used to these new burners and how their temperatures work, because I got so used to what I needed to cook on the other stove, and then trying to work around the temperature gauge on the other one being weird for a little bit, and then it just eating shit altogether. But now I have to figure out what the numbers on these burners mean, and one burner's a dual burner. There's like a little baby burner in the middle of a larger burner, and you can just turn the one on, or you can have them both on. And Russell and I are like, okay. And there was an instruction manual for how to put the stove together and attach it to the wall. There was nothing that explained all the buttons and the different temperatures, and I'm like, why? Why is there nothing to explain this? I feel like we're missing paperwork. Like, there's a warm zone on the stove top, but there's a warm zone button on the control panel, but okay, there's a bake from frozen lasagna / pizza button that says no preheat, and I'm like, when does one use this? Stoves have gotten a lot more fancy since we last purchased one like 7-8 years ago. I feel like I'm learning the internet all over again with the stove. I'm like, what is all this? We're getting better. What had better be our last snowfall. And it's gorgeous. The new stoves they're designed for safety, and you can do pressure canning on them. If this is the year I can finally buy a house, I'm buying an old stove just for common sense and canning. Yeah, like, sorry, you cannot do canning. Okay, not do canning on them. I was like, okay. Like, I thought you meant you couldn't, but I wasn't sure. Like, we had a smooth top stove, and that one's been being weird for a while. We think there was a short on one of the burners because we were seeing a blue flash of light through the glass top on the one burner whenever it came on and off, so we hadn't used that burner in like a year. And then the rest of them, the temperature went crazy on them the other night, and I was like, okay, like all of them, and I was like, alrighty, well, this isn't safe to use anymore. So then we had to go emergency stove shopping, and we were talking about getting a coil stovetop because we need electric. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, sometimes, a lot of the time when I cook, if I walk away for a minute and I'm like boiling something for a while, it'll boil over. I said it's easier to clean up the boil over on the glass top than it is on the coil. And we were looking at a coil, and these new coil ones, they had like I think I know what you're talking about, where they've got the stupid little sensor coils where it turns off. Now, there was a whole bunch of gas stoves at Lowe's when we were in there, or some kind of gas stove, but I'm afraid of fire, and natural gas makes me real nervous. So I prefer electric, and honestly, with my clumsy ass self, it's probably better that way. But I think I know, like, there was like a sensor on them where where it'll turn it off or something temporarily until it cools down or some shit. There's a cat fight. Or there was a cat, get the fuck out of my face. I think it was Little. She's a real bitch sometimes. She doesn't even want the boys walking past her. But her and Ed do not get along. At all. She's okay with Cow. P-Butt she's not real happy with. Goddamn zoo over here. I mean, some people, they might be starting to phase them out, and maybe that's just what they had, but they had more gas than electric at Lowe's. Unless it's just maybe the area. Also possible.
What's up, buddy? Are you bugging Littles?
He might be. He's been a dick today.
Hey.
Yeah, that was Little. She doesn't want the boys to even look at her sideways. And then she goes and hides in a corner. Cow's the only one she doesn't really behave that way around. But the other two are assholes, so I get it. Like, I get it. But, we were looking at one of those stoves, and with, like, the weird safety button in the middle of the coil. And he was looking up how much it was to replace those coils if they went. He goes, okay, it's not too much more. And so what happened?
They're cornering little bits.
Oh, yeah, she don't like that.
Yeah.
Both of them? Or just P-Butt?
So far just people that I've caught, but...
Hey, Buzzies, the wind chimes are back. But, that one with the coils, it was going to be real iffy if we could get it in the house. Because old house, these doorways are narrow. And the one hallway is narrow, so we couldn't bring it in through the slightly wider doorway because we didn't think they'd be able to make the turn in the hall. So we had to come in through a different doorway. And we did measure it, and that one was like, it's gonna be real fucking close, and they might have had to take the door off the oven to get it in. And, there was a smooth top. Well, first of all, we tried to get the coil one, and it was out of stock. I'm like, of course, because it's under $600. This one's gonna be out of stock. Of course it is. And that was on sale. And the sale was only going for like 2 more days, and I'm like, fuck. And they had a smooth top. They had it in like stainless steel, and I'm like, I don't want the black stainless steel combo. Like, nothing in our kitchen is this color. Our fridge is white. It bugged me that the last stove was black. And the fridge was white. And I'm like, can we at least get something that's white? And then they had the smooth top, the same one in white on the other side, and I'm looking at it, and there's like all this stuff that we really wouldn't use on there, and I'm like, I don't know. And it was more money, but the size was right. Like, it would fit through the doorways, and I'm like, and of course that one was like 700 and change, and I'm like, of course it is. So even though it was on sale, after taxes, delivery fees, haul away the old stove fees, it was like $900 and some. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me? You did hear the cat? Yeah, she gets... Hi, Momo.
For real?
Hi. I did take him out earlier while you were gone. Like a few minutes before you came back. Okay, buddy. I just put paint in my brush. Let me rinse it.
Give me a second. I get him.
You sure?
Yes.
Alright.
Just things it out again.
You know that's how he works.
Yeah, I know. I sat down. I know.
Yes. So, we went and we tried to shop around a little bit. We went to Best Buy. I don't know why we bothered, but we did. They were all super expensive. Although they had a fridge.
They had one that wasn't bad. It was a bad equivalent to this one. But we decided to just go back and get this one because I
Yeah.
think the other one was a little too wide.
It might have been. They did have a fridge that was not terribly expensive. I think it was like under 600. You know, for when this one decides to give out in a month, because you know that's how things work.
No, especially lately.
I'm waiting for the washing machine to go, actually. Okay, Bozzy, you have a good one. Oh, Boz, if you need canvas, check Michael's. That was 70% off. If you're still there. You might not be. But, Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, Momo's... Poor Momo. I swear it seems like the antibiotics have stopped working. They checked his kidney function and said it was fine. I don't know what to do. It seemed like it was doing better and then it got worse again. They said they didn't see any stones or anything. I don't know what is going on. I have no idea. But they said, well, when we're done this round of antibiotics, get a pee sample and just bring it up. Don't call ahead of time. Just come in. And they will run another test on him and see where we're at, because they're getting about as baffled as we are about why this isn't getting any better. So I've been worried about him. He was up and down a lot last night. And I caught him. Like, I have a sweatshirt, like a hooded zip-up sweatshirt that I got from when we were in Key West, because it was chilly, and I saw a pink one that I wanted, and then my mom wanted that one. I'm like, well, we're not getting the same one. So I grabbed a blue one. Kind of like the channel blue color, something like that. And I've been wearing that a lot lately here. And last night, a couple nights actually, I've seen him try to climb on top of the box that was sitting on the floor that I threw it on top of to lay on my sweatshirt. And I'm like, buddy, you can't possibly want my sweatshirt that bad. And I put it in his bed and he was happy as could be. I'm like, well, you can't keep that. Like, I need that. He always had this thing about kleptoing my clothes off of the bed. If I took something off and threw it on there and didn't get it in the hamper right away, he would make off with it, and I'd forget about it and lose track of it. And then when we'd go to straighten out the blankets in his dog bed like 2 weeks later, I'm like, I was wondering where this went. Oh yeah, this shirt, one sock, pair of pants. I'm like, buddy, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you can't keep stealing my clothes. And like, I tried to give him Russell's bathrobe because sometimes he likes that. No, he wanted my sweatshirt, so he's using my sweatshirt today. And like yesterday I was super worried about him because he showed no interest in wanting to go outside. We don't know if his back was hurting him on top of everything else. I'm beginning to wonder if it's, the back issue is not helping matters. And it may not be. But there's only so much we can do with that. Of course, my hand got super shaky on this guy. I almost didn't do this one. But then I thought it would be weird if I didn't. But yeah, so we don't watch TV really. We sometimes will watch whatever my mom's watching when we duck in to check on her or whatever. And there was a commercial on that said, oh, Michael's was having a 70% off sale. And I'm like, really? So I checked out their website. And they had the Artist Loft, which is, I guess, their name brand, their house label, canvas. I think it was basically like student level, artist level 2, and artist level 3. A lot of the individual canvases were on sale. 70% off. So I've got some canvas coming. I got a couple of round ones. I think those might be 8x8. I got some 8x8 squares, some 6x6s. I got two packs of black canvas. I think that might be 8x8 or 6x6. I can't remember the size. And I ordered those white gel pens, which would have made this go so much faster, but they weren't going to be here in time. And I got something else. I don't remember what it was. Maybe that was it. I actually had enough cash that I could get the free shipping, so I was like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, we don't have a Michael's nearby. The closest Michael's is down near where our friend lives. It's like an hour away. And Michael's is kind of expensive. I hate going to Hobby Lobby. I hate giving those bastards money. But they've had a lot of my flamingo happiness that I've been getting. So, and my mom's been paying for most of that. So technically, I'm not giving them the money. But, it's kind of our only option up here, unless I order it. And sometimes ordering it is not cheaper. Because Joann's here is bullshit. Unless you need fabric. Like, everything else is... good luck with that. I was not surprised in the slightest when I saw the news that they were filing for bankruptcy. But trust me, if I didn't have to go to Hobby Lobby, like if I had other options, I would. Sometimes I will get stuff at Walmart. Because they've upped their game a little bit. But sometimes I also don't really have a choice. Because a lot of the times, the stuff on Amazon, as far as like craft paint and canvas and all, sometimes is like twice the price of just going to fucking Hobby Lobby. And I get nervous about ordering paint online because I never believe it's going to show up intact. I always am like, nope, it's going to be broken, it's going to be spilled everywhere, something's going to be wrong. Yeah, but like you have to know your prices if you want to avoid going there and you're going to try to like go through Amazon or you know, or Jerry's or you know, whatever other website you're going to go to instead. You really have to spend time window shopping. And Michael's, like, I don't really have a problem with them. They're just so damn expensive, normally. So when I saw the 70% off sale, I was like, oh, we have to go look. we need to go look at this. Alright, that's gonna go in that container. Okay, these guys are gonna go back in here. I'm excited. We're starting a new Bob Ross needle felt tomorrow. Very excited about that. Gotta move stuff here because I need to get to my basket of clips. My basket of crap here. and wires. What are you? Why? Why do I have this? I just have a random charging cable. Okay. And I don't know what it goes to. I think it's an extra Kindle charger. Camera card. Flamingo. Okay. All my little tiny pastel bag clips I got for the yarn wall. The yarn doorway that... The yarn wall that was a doorway. Okay. So we have our little guy here. These guys are a little tough. These aren't split backs on the stickers, so sometimes it takes a minute. Like there's a line there, but I don't know. Haha. Got you. Now we just have to do you gently, so I don't rip you. Come on. No, no, bastard. Come on. Come on. Fuck. There we go. Oh, they also had these cute, now all the fuzz that's flying through the air is going to stick to it. Great. They also had these cute, pre-designed printed canvases. There was a couple that were sets of 4. I can zoom that in just a second. Once we get trimmed up. I need to get the paper trimmer because I forgot to grab that too. They had these, there was like a set of 4 that had like these designs pre-printed on it. It was a kit. They were 4x4 canvases. So little guys. And they came with the paint. Like paint to paint it in. And I was like, huh. And then they had a couple that were 12x12s. I almost grabbed one of the 12x12s. I was a paper trimmer. What drawer would I live in? This one. Apparently. Thank you. I think the white outline, even though it was a pain to go and put in, I think that helped a bit. Oh, I didn't turn the other lamp on. That's why it's so dark in here. I mean, that didn't help that much, but... because I can't put it in white mode because it buzzes. When I have it in the rainbow swirl, it doesn't buzz. I don't understand. You might see the reflection flashing over here off the glass. My desk had to get all disheveled. So the morning that the stove was getting delivered, we had to rearrange the entire bedroom. Like, it's okay that this is peeling up there. We're cutting that section off. That's fine. We had to lift our bed up and put it against the wall, off the floor. I had to move the boxes that my clothes were stacked on out of the way. We had to move my desk over. We had to take our door off the hinges. So it could get in the house. Like, that's how little room of error there was to get this thing in the house. But it killed us to pay $50 for them to take the other one away, but we also didn't want to deal with it because we already have a freezer and a old dryer outside that we need to get rid of. Okay, you know what? You have liquids all over you. So I'm gonna put you guys all over here. so I don't accidentally knock you. That sounds like a plan. Let me stuff that back there. Okay. So. Gonna trim this guy up here. And hopefully get it to where it needs to be. It'll cut the watercolor paper, but it's not happy about cutting it, but it will. I think I might have also dulled the blade a bit. Oh. When I was cutting all of my tissue paper. We need to do another tissue paper one. I might have to make you a little bit smaller. I could just do this with scissors, but I can't cut in a straight line. So, I was about to say maybe I can't even paper trimmer in a straight line, but so this might end up being a little bit smaller than the square it was meant for. And that's okay. Use a box cutter and a ruler. Yeah, even with a ruler, like that's why I have the T-square, so I can hook it onto something and have a shot of getting it straight. But if like I don't have that bar on the T-square, forget it. But yeah, we need to do another tissue paper project. I'm in the middle of doing a flamingo in tissue paper. Like a wooden sign flamingo. Didn't say it was great. Ah, yes. Yes, this will probably be a little bit smaller than I... Nope. Had planned on. It's just for a sketchbook cover. It can have a little bit of white showing, I guess. But, I think I need to get some more tissue paper twisted for it. Okay. Somehow the sides don't look even. And I hope that that's an optical illusion. Because we used the paper trimmer, but like I would hope that's an illusion. But here, let me zoom in a bit. If I can find where I need to be. Configure video. Have to go all this roundabout way. Oh, probably a little too much there. Nope, need to come back out a little bit more because the sketchbook's a little bit bigger than that. A little bit more. I got carried away zooming in. And my preview was so much smaller that I didn't trust that I was looking at the right size. Okay. So let's make the glass glary thing go away. So that didn't come out so bad. It had its moments where I wasn't sure. What is that? Hold on. What are you down here? Ow. Ow! Stop it. What are you? Oh, you. Okay. I know what you are. I had lost track of that. Okay. So, gonna get our sketchy book. So it's gonna be a little smaller because, you know, my measurements weren't the greatest when we did it. But I'll tell you what. We'll do. Do I have a big Sharpie? I have a chalk marker. I have a red Sharpie. Let's use the chalk marker. I don't think I've used this fucker yet. Oh no, wait, that's not the one I wanted. We have used this one. I have another one. Okay, I did have another one. Am I hallucinating? I've got too much stuff in too many different places. That's the problem. I did have a paint mark. God damn it. Oh. Oh. Why did I buy a gold paint marker? I thought this was white. Black. Okay. I did find my black Sharpie. Oh no, we do have it in here. I mean, I've never used this one. Chalkboard marker. I've not used these before. You understand? Yeah, like I've got a little container of brushes I use more often. Do you want to work? You kind of want to work, but you're very transparent. And I don't know if you're just gonna like smudge right off. So, tell you what. We'll get to know our Sharpie marker here. And we will color in our edges. And I can't even follow a straight edge, because why should I be able to? So I'm just gonna kind of color in a little bit. I'm not gonna color the whole thing. Well, this marker is drying up. Hold out for me, marker. I really don't want to get the paint out. I have no idea how old the Sharpie marker is. It still smells like a Sharpie marker though. That's for certain. Like, I probably didn't need to do the top and the bottom. Oh no. No, no, Sharpie. Sharpie, don't do this to me. Not halfway through. Come on, Sharpie. Sometimes if you close it back up, you can get it back again. I cannot even fathom how many brain cells I must have killed doing Sharpie marker. I'm also astonished that when I was in high school, one of our art supplies for art class was actually a box cutter that we had to bring in to class. I don't think that they would allow that nowadays, because that's how we had to learn how to sharpen our pencils. Because if you brought an actual pencil sharpener into art class, our teacher's head would have exploded. It might just be the surface that this is on. Or it might be the marker. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect. I just need you to hang on there with me a minute, Mr. Marker. You can't imagine that's a thing in high school anymore. Yeah, like she would lose her mind if you like sharpened your sketching pencils with a pencil sharpener. I don't even think she had one in the classroom.
Wait, so what did she insist you use?
We had to bring in box cutters. You know, the safety box cutters that you could snap part of them off that really weren't safety?
That's fucking nasty.
And we had to shave down the wooden sides of the pencil near where the lead was. And then we had to buy sandpaper blocks. Not really a block, it was like, it kind of looked like a tiny mini paddle that had bits of sandpaper on it, and then we could file and rub the pencil down on the sandpaper blocks to get a sharp point if we needed it. And I'm like, do you understand how much fucking lead we're wasting? How much graphite we're wasting? These pencils are not cheap. I don't know why I'm saving this marker. I guess I'm hoping it'll come back to life, but that didn't really. Okay, I guess we'll have to use the good pen. I was trying not to. I didn't want to waste it for this, but that's a juicy brush tip. That's nice. So this is from the pen set that you got me, boss. Like, them pencils were $1 a piece, yeah. And we needed all different types of hardness and softness on them. In a couple months, I still might grab one of those pre-printed canvas kits. Maybe. Just for something fun to do to check it out. Trust me, we would be working on my paint by number that I started. We'd be trying to finish it. if I had the space to do so on camera, but the fucking thing is huge. And I can't work on it for long periods of time because I have to be like right up on top of it. And the numbers are so tiny. I almost need like a big magnifying glass. That's putting the Sharpie to shame. I mean, that is a very old Sharpie. So it's probably half dried up. I almost wonder if I dunked it in a little bit of alcohol if it would bring it back to life. It probably wouldn't, and I'm not going to, but... Okay, so... Oh, right. That's what I wanted to do. So I'm going to take that and just color in that edge just a little bit where we had a little bit extra white peeking on through there. Okay, so I need a little bit more ink there. Okay, now we're gonna tape this guy in place so it doesn't move on me. My Mingo dispenser. That's got fuzz in it. Of course it does, because cats. Cats. Okay, so I know we're gonna laminate it. This is just so it stays the heck in place. While I am trying to laminate it down. And it's also letting me see where else we need the black pen. Okay, that should be good. That was a very nice brush tip. We should probably You okay? Mm-hmm. Oh, that is very wet ink. Make sure that dries before you put your hand in it, kids. So I was still a little wet. That's okay. If that's the worst thing that happens is that I get some black ink on me, we're good. That's not a bad day. I'll take that. So we might see the tape line on here with the, like, through the laminate, and I'm okay with that. It's just a sketchbook cover. It's not like it's a commission piece going to anybody. If it was, I'd like stick it to the back or glue stick it down and then do our laminating sheet. I don't have any glue sticks right now. I didn't think to grab any. I used to have them on hand when I was doing scrapbooking, but I want this open. Hello? There we go. It's like, I don't want to damage the sheet, but we are super zoomed in, aren't we? We need to be back out a little bit more. Sorry. Need to be out enough. Oh, too far. No, too far, too far. People don't need to see my messy ass desk. Or the shelf that the monitors are sitting on. Nope, too far. Still too far. Okay, we'll go with that. Okay. Still haven't been able to get the camera software to work. But that might involve getting that new cable. And I've kind of found a way for it to work, so I'm kind of afraid to mess with it. No! Dick, stop it. Now everything's falling over there. Okay. So self-adhesive sheets. Not used this brand before. I got ink on me over here too. Okay. Alright, self-adhesive sheets user guide. Remove the adhesive strip. Align and place your document face down. Flip sheets. Use a ruler to press and smooth out the document. And trim. Okay. Well, okay. Put this back into its box, sleeve, whatever we want to call this, so it doesn't get icky. Okay, well, I need you so I'm glad we didn't glue this down yet. I need oh, that is still wet. Okay. So. Ma'am, I'm gonna put you over there for it. Okay. So I need to leave enough of a border to stick down on the book. Alright, let's see what that's gonna look like. Oh. Well, that would have been nice if it had... There we go. Okay. So, alright, that's not terrible. Okay, and then on this piece, where'd it go? Oh, it stuck to the, like, I know we just cut this. Okay, so we're doing ours a little bit differently than the instructions. that there. And oh, that's what that meant. Okay. Oh, do I have a Ow! Damn it. What do I want to use? What do I want to use? Well, shit. What am I gonna use? I'm not prepared. What do we want to? I'll use that. Okay. So there's our starting side. Okay. So, like, you would probably want to use, like, an expired credit card, gift card, you know, one of those things. I'm not going to use my debit card on camera. That's not happening. So it's kind of like putting down contact paper, and I don't have the thing that I used to put down the contact paper on my desk anymore. Okay, so now if I had a small ruler, that would also work. I don't have one. I need to get a tiny ruler set. I really should, like tiny sketchbook size ones. I'm sure they probably make them. I just don't have any. And I keep saying I need to get some. Or find like a kit. And then I forget to go looking for it. And then the thought's out of my head again. Until I do something and I'm like, damn, I really need this. Sure would be nice if my brain would let me remember to do this. Now, this is to just make sure you don't have any air bubbles. So you want to go a little bit slow if you've not worked with the self-laminating sheets, but it is pretty similar to laying down contact paper. I was a little nervous there that I didn't give us enough on this side. It's also to keep any weird creases from happening. Oh, really? Are you not gonna stick? You're not gonna stick. Serious? Okay, so I didn't give us enough room there. Alright, well, I'll tell you what. You're gonna be brat about it. It's like just, it's kind of sticking, it's just like a fraction short. Okay, that was my error because of how we were doing it. Okay. $20 later. Okay, I now see why they had the crack. Wow, really? You're gonna... It's gonna do me like that. Okay. So this piece is gonna be a little bit smaller. Shit. So this was my fuck up. For cutting that a little bit short. Uh-oh, I hear a dreamy puppy that's curled up in my sweatshirt. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, dreamy puppy. He's being loud today. Get him, Momo. I don't know what you're getting, but get him. Okay. There we go. Get heels. Moved it down into there. Okay. Not perfect. But, you know, it is just a sketchbook. Okay, Bozzies, no problem. So, I mean, it'll do. Oh my goodness. Alright, so there's our replacement cover. Shiny now, so it shouldn't get too much battle damage. Not like I'm planning on putting it through any serious workout or anything, but all right. And there we go. We are ready for Arty Times. It's the one I'm gonna take when we go to Florida in September. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with it in the meantime. Don't know if I'm gonna save it just for when we go and that be when I crack it open, or if I'm gonna do anything beforehand. I might do a couple of things in there beforehand, potentially. So I'm going to tuck you for safekeeping into that cabinet. Alright, so now I've got a huge mess here. Stuff that just kind of got flung everywhere. Is this empty? It is. Great. You're my trash bag. Fantastic. Okay. Get that back over there. Alright. So, we have a little bit of time. My coconut turtle. Not the coconut turtle. Let's get us back to... Well, that's about where we were. Okay. Alright, that's fine. Coconut turtle. And our pad. Fuzz. Can't forget the fuzz. Fuzz up the nose. That's fun. Alright, so... There. We already did our sketch for tomorrow. Kind of mad I never finished that. Oh, I've got all kinds of ink all over my fingers now. Oh boy. That was definitely not dry. Okay. Let's see. So pen designs. Okay. Why does that feel... Oh, this has water damage. Okay. So this is our sketch for tomorrow. We're going to be starting the rustic barn one. The sketch will probably look nothing like what it actually works out to be. Just so you know. But I think today, since we have a little bit, we are going to bring up a new tab, so bear with me here a minute. I need to bring up my Unsplashed account. Let me set you over here. Oh, okay. I need to do a new... okay, yeah. Alright. Splash. Okay. Automatic. No, must match. I keep telling it it must match, and yet it'll put up whatever window it wants. Which is a little infuriating. Nope. You need to be about there-ish. Okay. Although I'm going to make the home window smaller, so that might fuss with that. So I've had this one reference photo. Sorry, I thought I heard a noise. Couldn't tell if it was a neighbor opening his truck or if somebody was on our porch. It was like thumpy feet. Here it is. Okay, so we need to adjust that. Okay. So this featured in Editorial Nature. This is from Casey Homer. Homer? Or Horner? I can't read this. Horner. That R and N in this font look like an M. So this was taken in Yosemite Valley in 2017, and it is free to use under the Unsplash license. So I've kind of had this image kicking through my brain for a while. I didn't know what to do with it, right? I tried to figure out, sorry, I'm trying to look for my pencil. It's in this container somewhere. There's a pencil, there it is. It's getting stubby, so it's getting lost in all the tall things in there. So, I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, essentially. Just a rough square. Alright, so I had a couple different cow behave. Had a couple different potential ideas that we could run with this guy. So it is an interesting shape. And it looks like the sky takes up kind of 2/3 of it. So from like maybe here to like here. It's weird because this comes in like here, and then there's like this, and then it kind of, well, that's a little too steep, but and then there's like a little bit of grass. That one side is so dark. So from like, what is this? Who are you? There's a mark on there. I don't know what you are. You're there now. So maybe like there's the grass. And then like, I guess this would be like our steepest bit of sky here. Like a little bit, and then way up. Oh, my proportions are way off, as they usually are. As they usually are. Okay, my book doesn't sit flat anymore because I had it sitting on top of the fish tank and we're water damaged on the back, so. Alright, maybe we should start this over here. So we've got a little bit of down, right back. Nope. And then a little bit. And then over, and then a slope down, then up a little, down, up, 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 down, down, a little bit, over, and then like that is very much not quite right. And then there's like a little guy here. Like I'm too spread out is what it is. And it's bugging me, which is why I was like, oh, well, let's start here. So, and then like say here is where our low points are gonna be. So goes down there, and then this is like there. That's a bit better. Okay. So this guy kind of goes like off that way. And then this guy comes up a little bit. Oh, Momo. I'm getting to wonder if these antibiotics are making his ears itch. Oh my goodness, Moses. What's the matter, Moses? That's probably the best that's gonna get. What's the matter? Hi. Hi. Oh, hi, happy guy. Hi. What's the matter? Is your face itchy? Oh, kisses, thank you. Did you light an incense?
Nope.
Why does it smell like incense?
I do not smell it.
Okay. I must be crazy then.
Or it's something from... You sure it's not coming from a pencil?
I don't know. I smelled it when Momo put his face up to me.
I doubt he was eating it, so I don't know. Oh, stretches. Come on, stretches.
Okay.
No shit. Let's go.
So, like, right over here, like a circle, and then it's kind of like bursty. Off of it. Kind of deal. So we could try to paint it. So there's like trees. Like down into here, and then we've got some more tree guys up into here, and like they kind of like just hang out back in there. You can't really see them. And then there's like this group of trees in front of it, and then we've got some grassy bits in here. it's very dark on this side. Very, very dark. So it's hard to see. And then like somewhere back in here, there's like a waterfall that I missed coming down somewhere, going who the fuck knows where. Back somewhere behind the trees. So, like, we could try to needle felt this guy. Eventually, when we get there. Or we could try to paint it. And there's two different ways we could paint it, right? These are just rough sketch ideas. So if we find a color here. So our sky's like very much an odd shade of like blue-green in this one. Yeah, kind of like that. Ever so lighter, but so I mean we could try to do like a traditional guy. We could also try to tissue paper this one. That might be interesting. But I'd have to get the sketch worked out in my brain first. So since my brain hasn't been wanting to let this one go, we might do a couple versions of it. So let's see, what shade are you? You are Daffodil. So like that's gonna come down across everything. With its like starburstiness, and I think that's where I was getting the most hung up, because it's more of like a white yellow at the top, right? But I couldn't really convey that with the colored pencil very well. But the bottom of the Starry Burst thingy is almost taken on like a pinky color. So I mean, it's kind of strange. So we could maybe try to Bob Ross it. Let's see, what color are you? So these guys back here would be let's see here. Get like a Van Dyke brown back in here. Just as a base color for all of it, right? And then in parts of it, like a slightly like sienna color kind of flung in there in spots. And then it would almost need to be like a lighter brown in there. If like a reddish brown. And I kind of know what color I'm looking for. I just don't know if I'm going to find a colored pencil that's that color. That's the problem. Let's see. What are you, my friend? What are you? And then there's, well, I mean, it's still like pretty dark, but I could add a little bit of like an orangey tone in there. And then it's kind of like a whitish bit. Just trace the pencil. There we go. Like a waterfall back in there. And then we have, what's the pine green? He would probably do, what'd I do with it? There it is. Yes? Yes. So then it would be, like Z trees. Like all in through here. This is rough sketch, like super rough sketch. These are two-toned back in here. So there's like a couple of these guys. So these guys are kind of like our zigzaggy trees. And they're kind of like overlapping each other, but these ones have our, there you are, like our, that's too light. Oh my goodness, where are we? What color are you? Okay, that works. So, like everybody kind of is like their dark greeny colors, but these ones over here have a little bit more yellow to them. You wanted a shower to be done with it? Hey, no problem. I understand that. No worries. We're just kind of, I don't know if you left before we finished putting the cover on or not. So then these guys, like just the tops of them are like that color. And then everybody else would be like the darky greens. Like even the bottoms of these would be like weirdly dark. There's like a dark line that kind of cuts off there. And it's kind of like that the whole way over. So like these are all like the Z trees, so it would be pine trees. So it would be all of these guys. I'm not quite sure if we did tissue paper this guy. how we would convey that really, but it might be a hot disaster. So I'm thinking, like, you know, we could do a traditional, like, Bob Rossi version. So these guys actually kind of carry over. Sorry, just stop to think for a second. Dangerous things, I know, but again, just super quick sketchies on this messy. Okay, some of these actually come up a bit taller. Oh, actually, some of them are pretty tall. Okay, so there's like really only 3 that are coming up that tall, but you know how that goes. So we get our dark greens kind of put into here. So these would be the background trees. It's like our different dark colors. I mean, it wouldn't look exactly the same as the reference, obviously. So this guy would be like a dark brown. Get the base in there, and then let's see. Get you, and like a gray. Now we could try to do this one in gouache. It is possible to try. Okay, so then we've got grass. Well, hang on. Dirt. Sorry if the monitor's shaking, or the camera is shaking. I don't think it is. No, it's just my monitor that's shaking. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so got some dirt. Some dark green mixed in there. And then we've got some lighter green. Well, yeah, it's like a yellowy green though. So like in there, I've got a handful of pencils because I'm like, no, I don't want to put anybody down. And then this would be more dirt. Now, I don't really know what I would do with the water here. We could kind of hit it with the same like sky color. And maybe that same gray mountain color from the background, because it is kind of like grayed down. And then there would be like that little bit of like yellow in here, maybe a little bit of the pink on the edges. Kinda, like just in that one spot. Maybe like a little bit more over here. A little bit here. And maybe like a little bit here. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Every time I try to like do some sort of sketch with this one, it never looks right. So the other option is we could go like super abstract with it. So it's not gonna be the same shape. It's just not. It's me. It's not gonna. So sun's like peeking out back here, right? So if we like starburst through it, we could actually triangle out all of our starbursts, light shaft thingies. All right, and then I don't know, the way I was thinking about this before now doesn't seem right. So like not really blend it, but just kind of like block in the color. And then like the bottom ones have like that weird pink color in the middle, and then the upper ones have like the weird lighter yellow in those, and then the lighter yellow to white in the middle. This just being solid, this color, because there's no clouds or any. Oh, I missed a tree. I missed a few trees. There was another grove of trees in there. I miss those? How did I miss those? So there's like some orange and red on those guys. You get the idea. Excuse me. So this would be solid. And this. So this might be a better concept for either the tissue paper or a needle felt on this bottom one. So then we'd have to like do like deep V's in through here. To we don't really see the bottom of these guys though. So I'm just gonna make this that color for now so I don't lose it. So then we would need like black, and chunks back in here. And then like go back in and chunk out sections of dark brown. And just kind of like take that most of the way down. And I don't know, I guess that like lighter reddish brown in some chunks here and there, kind of swathed in places. So then, yeah, this side would be like chunks of black for what we might see. And then like some of the brown just kind of like shaped in. Just in like triangle-y chunks basically. And then the remaining spaces possibly filled in with the gray. So it'd be like a lot more chunky color instead of blended color on this one. What's up? And what are you doing with that?
Cutting all those little fucking bastards that are all like little thin things.
Where?
I'm gonna start with over on the carport side.
Okay. Please be careful. Do you have your safety glasses on? Because there's gonna be little stickies flying.
No, but I've got my glasses on.
Alright, be careful, please.
Yep.
So I think the camera did shake on that one. So then, like, in here, I wouldn't even really know how to. It's kind of hard to convey it in colored pencil because it would just be like color, kind of folk arty, where it's like color laid on top of color but not blended in. So it would be like tree trunk. So like if this is the shape of our tree, and like lighter sections like picked out and like the darker background color around it, like kind of thing. It's kind of hard to explain, and I don't know if I could quite pull that one off. I think this one might be the better way to go. Like, yeah, like, it's hard to explain. It's hard to convey in colored pencil, I'll put it that way, because the colored pencil layer's weird, but I think this one I'm liking the outcome of more so far. Because what I was thinking before, I'm kind of lost the thought now, honestly. Yeah, kind of. Like almost feels not quite stained glassy, but like chunky sections of color. But yeah, like, okay, so like this color, and then I'll lay this color on top, but I'm not going to blend it in, but it's just going to be like laid on there, and then it's I've seen it, and I don't really quite know what style it's technically called, but you know, something like that, I guess. I'll put my nub of a pencil back in there. You know, I'm going to put that eraser in there too, because I've been needing that. So, give me 1 second. I want to check our tissue paper stores. Oh, if I can get up. Okay. Yeah. It's kind of like folk art, but not exactly. Okay, so have to open this very carefully so the static doesn't send everything everywhere. Ah! Somebody's already escaping. Okay, that's not too messy, all things considered. So this was a, I think it was a bead organizer. Some kind of craft organizer that you can, let's not do that. You can like pull the dividers out and change what size things are. So this is all of my, this isn't all of my tissue paper. I do have more. So this is all that's in the box. I have more in Ziploc bags that didn't fit in here. So if we did do a tissue paper version of this guy, sorry, I'm looking at what I've got next to me. We could do an 8x10. If I can get one out of here. Hello, Mr. Container. Thank you. So, I mean, we could do an 8x10 guy. Maybe. I'm not sure. I mean, we might have the colors for it. Though I think we'll start off with attempting to paint it first. Is what I think we'll try to do. And I don't know if I'm going to paint it on the 8x10, or we might do maybe one of these guys. These guys are nice. Might do one of these guys. These are 6x6. These are ones I got at clearance at the Store of Evils. Because I was like, oh, that's a nice price for that. And then Michael's had their 70% off sale. And I was like, fuck. It might be the same type of ones, too. Because it said that they were back stapled and gallery wrapped. It might be a little bit thinner, though. They might not be as chunky. So, yeah, I think I gotta think about if we're gonna do that in tissue paper. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't pass up a clearance sale. It was half off. I mean, canvas can get pricey. Like, really pricey. Where is my... That's not it. Ow! Ow! I'm stuck. Shit. Where are you? You're here somewhere. I know you are. You're back here somewhere. You exist. I know you exist. Things moved, though. Oh no, I can't get to it. Hang on. I'll be right there. Hang on. Oh, that's why I can't grab you. That would be why. Because you... Jesus Christ. Oh. Fuck. It like super fell. I Tetrised my life together in my work area, and then I had to untetris it when the stove got delivered. Sorry for all the noise. And then I lost my Tetris-y thingies. So this was my flamingo sign. He's a mess. I was gonna paint him, right? And I was like, well, what if we tissue papered him? Some of my tissue paper's coming off. But this is what I'm in the middle of working on for a while. But I was gonna wrap the sides too, but I think I need to twist some more gray tissue paper. This took a while to get on there, and then I kind of lost my momentum, as I tend to do when projects start to take longer than I anticipated them. But I think that might look cool with the tissue paper on there. Give him some texture on his body once I get everybody on there. And then, you know, we'll seal him up real good in the end when everything's said and done. But I might have to do a layer of Mod Podge on top and let that set, and then maybe do like a test of a spray sealer on top of the Mod Podge. I don't know how that's gonna go. Mod Podge is funny. Sometimes it's great, and other times if you like sneeze and a little bit of liquid flies on it, it starts to beat up like white glue, and I'm like, ugh. So, I don't know. We might just Mod Podge it and call it a day and leave him inside. And just not put him anywhere that has moisture. Happens to you too. You have too many. Yeah, like I've been working on my paint by number for forever now, and I feel bad that I'm nowhere near done. But I didn't have anywhere that had enough light and was big enough to work on him, because he's on a big. It's 16 by 20, and I don't even think I can get it all in here. And then the numbers were so microscopic on it, and I didn't realize the numbers were so microscopic when I ordered it. Because, you know, my brain's like, oh, 16 by 20. I used to paint on that size all the time. That's fine. Here, I'm not sure if you saw the finished cover attached. I don't know if the laminate's gonna hold to the sketchbook cover. Worst comes to worst, I'll get some packing tape, and then that fucker ain't going nowhere. But it definitely has the finish on there now to keep it from going anywhere. That's not a blemish. That was my signature there. But little mixed media doodle on there. If I had given it enough of an edge all the way around, it would have been better, but I cut it short by accident, thinking that, oh, this is more than enough. But still, in the end, that didn't come out so bad. I was a little worried at first working on it, but we kept at it. There we go. There's the glare off of there. But, no, it didn't come out so bad. So this guy, I have a Hush sign. I have a metal sign that fell. So I have one of those big ass. I have one of those big ass art boards, right? It's an MDF clipboard. That's all sorts of dusty. So excuse the fuzzes, please. So I'm working on this paint by number. It's very big. That's only part of it. I am zoomed in though, but that's only part of it. And the numbers are kind of tiny. We could try to finish him. 16 by 20 doesn't sound that big, and there's a little bit of a border on him, but he's very big. I mean, we could try to work on him on stream. I would just have to like flip him upside down at times. Where did I get one that size? Where did I get one this size? Where did I order this from? Where did I order this from? I ordered it from somewhere. It might have been Amazon. Maybe. It might have been Amazon. I don't think it was Joann's. I don't think so. So this is an acrylic. It's an acrylic on like rolled canvas. Paint by number. It's not oil. So I'm not sure how far out to the edge the 16 by 20 goes. I'm gonna have to actually measure it. Or if it's just the inner that's the 16 by 20. Well, that's like 18. So 19. So I guess there's a little bit of border on the edges to get to the 20. I don't think it's like all the way out to, Jesus, like a bull in a china shop. I don't think it's out to here. I had to tape it down because it came rolled up. And I'm like, what am I going to attach this to? So I'm like, let's get this. They had a giant mural and you could grab a cup of paint and add to it. Oh, yeah. The Epcot thingy. Like their festival. Yeah. The festival, murals. Where's the stupid thing? There it is. Okay. So, I mean, we could try to work on this on stream. I don't know if it's gonna work because I'm like all the way back here. Like my arm is like the width of this board. Like this is up against my boobs. So you did that when you was there and they gave you a bookmark of the picture that you were painting. Cool. At least you got something from it. And a free little, well, it's not really free, I guess, because I suppose it would be included with your ticket price. Technically, if you chose to do it. Gotta pull myself back up here. Halfway across my work area. So, I mean, that guy would be really awkward to do on stream. But, right, let me close that reference photo. And I'm gonna hide that for a second. Let me see. So, let me go back to Michael's here for a second. Not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. Let me see. What is this called? Canvas kits, maybe? I didn't search for it. It suggested it when I was buying something else. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, so. Alright, I am not signed in. Okay. Let's see if it's going to show it. Alright. Again, not sponsored in any way, shape, or means. So it's kind of like a paint by number, but not. Oh, these are on sale too. Oh shit, they're half price off. Damn it, I wish I had gotten these now. So it comes with the paint. And some brushes, and a little palette. And it looks like a little mixing guide too. Artist Loft is their in-house one. I mean, $5.99. That's not bad. Their website's been kind of slow. So, like, they give you the thing, and I guess you can paint what color you want to, but it's not... Like, they give you suggested colors to paint it in. Like, these ones are... This is a set of 4, so these are 4x4s. Oh, they're new. So these are the different patterny guys. And then there's the paints that it comes with. This one comes with 2 brushes. And like they kind of have like a guide, but it's not actually like you can do whatever the fuck you want really. They had a set of these on black canvas too. Yeah. Like that was kind of cool. So this is a single one. Like that's what it looks like when you open it. Like the gold foil's already done, it seems. And then you can paint it. Damn. I really want to get a couple of these now, but I really don't want to pay the shipping, so I'm like kind of pissed that I didn't grab one of these when I originally saw them. Yeah, the black canvas looked pretty cool. See, that one's cool. But then I'm also looking at this and I'm like, you know, I could like try to do something similar to this, to these designs on my own too, so then I kind of talked myself out of getting them, but I kind of do want one. They had a set of 4 on the black canvas one too. This is a single. Excuse me. Where is it? Okay, I don't see any. Sometimes, like at the bottom, there'll be suggested other thingies. Let's see if I can find them. Let's see what this gets us. I think before I had searched black canvas and then I had seen it pop up. Now you're not gonna show up at all, are you? Because oh no, what did I hit? I hit an F key. There we go. I always do that. I think it's F11. And then all this shit pops up and I panic because I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? Where were these? So I picked up one of these that was on sale and it wasn't 3x3. Maybe it wasn't on sale. Maybe it was regular price. Because I don't see it now, and now I'm questioning what I bought. I would have to... Here they are. Still had me from when I was looking at them earlier. So these are 4x4. So these are minis. But I really like the ones on the black canvas because those just look so poppy. They look like they're standing up off of it. And there's kind of like a grayish hue, it looks like, around the plant, the pieces itself, and then like the black behind it. I don't know. They look neat. So those are on sale. I don't remember when the sale ends though. It ends soon-ish. But that is that. Yeah, it does look a little bit glowy. So we got this guy done. I don't know what we're doing next week. We have to figure that out. Are we going to do birdhouses? Are we going to do a Happy Trees painting? Are we going to try to do our reference sketch idea that we just did? I don't know. I kind of want to do that in gouache, so that might not be on canvas. I mean, you can do gouache on canvas from what I've seen some people say, but I'd rather muck about with that as a trial and error off of stream than on stream. Because I think I'd have to make it a lot thicker, and I like the way it looks better on the watercolor paper. But, so we have like an orange slice birdhouse, and we have a little trailer. Oh, my chair's rolling away. Come back, chair. No, come back with me. Thank you. So we have like a little trailer birdhouse. Kind of goes with the channel banner. Kind of. We could paint this guy next week. Have to gesso him. His little wheel spins. And I have like a citrus slice. It kind of looks like an orange or a lemon or something. We could do those two, although we'll probably only get through one.
Oh, you're gonna paint that?
We might paint this next week, yeah. Finally. Yeah.
I mean, it's been at least 2 years.
Yeah, it got shuffled
sure it was
around.
3.
It's probably 3. It got shuffled around and lost and forgotten about, and then I had like a crafty rage over Joann fabrics because 2 of the birdhouses I had bought came in with broken pieces on them, and then I got mad and and then they got like shuffled off to the side. I'm like, I'll deal with these guys later when I calm down, and then stuff kept getting moved and moved and moved, and then when we were cleaning our dining room, I found a big like Rubbermaid container. Excuse me. Hi, Zuzu. Zuzu's here. And I'd been using it as a drying container for the oil paints, and I didn't think I had anything in there, and I opened it up, and this was in there, the other one was in there. I had some canvas that I hadn't used yet in there. I was like, damn, how did all this stuff get in here? I don't have any memory of putting this shit in here. So, I pulled that all out. It was like a little mini surprise find. The, watch your toes. The orange slice. Watch your feet, because I can't see you. You're behind me. If I can get it. Really? It's stuck. Why is it stuck? There we go. So the other one is that guy. Oof. Chair got stuck again. So, you know, we could do these. We probably should with it getting on to spring and stuff. And then, you know, we could take some of our flamingo stickers and, or just paint a flamingo. We could just paint a flamingo. I don't know how the stickers would hold up outside. Are we going to put these outside, or should we leave it inside for like the little channel mascot in case we ever end up doing face camera? We can have it in the background. This one we can put outside. Maybe. Maybe. I don't think any bird would actually go in it because it's so tiny. And there's no way to clean it. But, oh, and it rolls. So we can't really sit that on the shelf. Bye. But no, I think maybe this one we'll leave inside. I would think about leaving you inside on a shelf somewhere. If you didn't keep trying to roll away. But that's the direction our floor slants in, by the way. This is why I have to have a rug under my chair. If I didn't have the rug under my chair would be doing that all the time. So that's fun. I'm not spinning it, I promise. I'm just holding it there and letting go. So the floors are very slanted here. But this one, this one doesn't move. This one, I guess because it's so light, it's like, I'm out of here. So yeah, I guess we'll work on these guys. I'll try to prime them at some point this week, so that way they're all ready to go. Yeah. We'll work on that, and, you know, I'm glad we got this guy finished up. Took me forever. Sorry it took us forever, but he's cute. And I like this better on the cover than what was on there. I wish that I had been able to get the hardbound ones, like the hardcover bound ones with the spiralies, because I like to fold my books over, and you can't really do that without breaking the spine on the other ones. Even if they're lay flat, I don't want them open double paged. I like to work on one page at a time and seeing the other page on the other side, and it takes up room, and then it gets to me. So I'd like to have just one side to look at, and then go from there. So alright, so we have a plan for next week. Tomorrow we will be back at it again, doing arty things. We will be working on our Bob Ross needle felting. We're moving on to episode 11 finally. Woohoo! It is Rustic Barn. We've got our sketch all planned out. We got that done we got that done on Monday. So Monday feels like it was 2 months ago. I swear to God. I did get my 1.5 miles on the treadmill today though. But it's been a struggle to get that in this week just because of everything else going on. But we will be sketching that out on the felt tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do the thicker felt or the thinner felt. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure I want to do the thicker felt because it does get kind of thick going through it, and I'm worried we might not be able to get through the thicker felt as our layers build up. So I think we'll just go with the thinner felt. I've got some of that. It was only one piece of the thicker that I had bought, so it's not a big deal. So we will start that tomorrow afternoon at some point. Can't say for sure what time we're going to start. I will try to start a little bit early though, so make sure your notifications are turned on here. Don't forget to follow the socially links down below. Those will take you to the Kofi, the Twitter, the Instagram, and the YouTube channel. Consider subscribing over there. It's free to do so over there. It's like the follow here. And because we're not monetized yet over there, we're at 201 followers of 500, and we need to get the watch hours up over there. But I feel like we can do it eventually. So because sometimes we have some projects pop up over there that we don't do here once in a while. You know, if I ever get this fucking video edited on Chungus, I'm so close to being done, but nowhere near. I think it's going to end up being like a 4.5 hour video, and that's edited down considerably. But we'll see what happens with that. I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you all have a good night. Have a good night or morning at work if you are working tonight, although it might be your day off. I can't remember. I don't know if your schedule rotates. But have a good night, Bozzies, and everybody, and thank you, Jess, for popping in. And oh good, no work, yay! And I'm gonna go make dinner, and I will see you all tomorrow for needle felting madness.